So, talking about you, sir, Mr. Yasasri Vikram Singh, a university lecturer at University of Morocco, and also he has several years of experience on augmented reality and other technology, cutting-edge technology, and also associate technical lead and 99x, and also AR VR enthusiastic and research. So, sir, my invitation up to you. So this virtual podium is up to you to continue our session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vidura, and good evening, everyone. And it's real nice to have you all together with us today, joining with TriNet Innovation and their Tech Talk series. So I'm really happy to conduct this session due to the invitation of this Vidura and his team. So it's really nice to be here. So okay. So first of all, actually, I know from your registration feedback, kind of your background. Some of you may have filled it during the registration period, but just to give again, to get a bit of your background related to virtual reality, augmented reality, these immersive technologies, and your expectations and your skills so far, I'll be enabling a Zoom poll. So if you can, please vote it. So I think in a while you should be able to see it. Yeah, so I think now you should be able to get a Zoom poll. So there are 3 questions. So please guys, if you can, please vote it. So I can get a better understanding about today our participants. And also, I'm sorry, I know some of you might be watching this webinar through Facebook live stream. So for them, actually, I can't get their real-time responses, but I have kind of an idea about what is going to be our background of our participants. So let's see how it goes. So I'll wait 1 or 2 minutes. So please vote. Okay, great. So out of this crowd, actually, there are 4 people who have worked with AR, but majority, 82%, 90% kind of rate, those people have not worked in AR before, and also, I mean, not even experienced AR before, and I think there are no any participant who have actually developed AR applications in for commercial purposes. So for individual projects, I think none of you have developed AR applications before, and also, but there are people who have worked with Unity 3D or Unreal game engine, and some of you have worked with AR Foundation, and 8% have worked with Vuforia SDK. Great. Okay, so it's great. So today's session, actually, I was planning to do with this from the scratch, and we will be developing an augmented reality application from the scratch, and we'll be completing a simple application within the session. So don't worry if you have not worked with AR stuff before. I will try my very best to explain everything from the scratch, and I hope everyone will be able to understand. And also, we'll be opening up a Q&A session. So probably I invite you all to come up with your doubts, get them clarified, and you can discuss further during the Q&A session also. Okay, so let me share my slides. Right. So, so today actually we are going to talk about this augmented reality from the beginning, and just for your information. So what if during this session, if I got disconnected, if my connection, maybe there can be some connection issues or maybe power interruptions, that can happen, right? So what if something goes wrong? So I want to mention that don't like go here and there, just wait a couple of more minutes. So if something goes wrong, I will find an alternative and I'll connect. So just I'm informing you. So if something goes wrong, you know what to do. And also you can remain in the meeting. So our organizers and our team will be there. So please keep in touch and give me 5-10 minutes. So I'll be joining back soon. And about myself, so I'm currently working as a lecturer at University of Moratuwa, working under Department of IT. And I was working at a company called 99X for around 4 years. And also I'm a co-founder of a startup that I formed together with some of my friends called Navitas VR Lab. So mostly my research interest and this startup work, everything lies with this virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, immersive technologies. So I really happy to talk about this subject, especially the practical stuff related to this. So that's why even I accepted this invitation also. So I'm looking forward to share my knowledge. Of course, I'm very beginner in this field. It's a big industry, actually. I would say this virtual reality, augmented reality field is a very big industry, multi-million-dollar industry nowadays. So it's not a very new industry now. It's a very, kind of matured industry. But still, for Sri Lankans and this South Asian context, still coming into hands of public, still we are getting used to that. So people are falling in love with these technologies because, there's some kind of a magic behind those technologies, right? So when you are looking at a virtual reality, if you have experience, augmented reality, there's a wow factor always. So together with that, there are a lot of benefits coming out of, you can get out of these technologies. So today we are focusing on augmented reality. So what are you going to learn today? So during the next hour, you will be getting familiar with this augmented reality. Basically, I'm focusing this session for you to give a very basic idea about why you need augmented reality, what's the reason behind learning that, why you should be curious, and why you should investigate further about these technologies. We'll be talking. Then we are directly moving into hands-on session. So we'll be working with Unity 3D, and we'll be developing an augmented reality application there, a simple one, but still I'm planning to give you the basics behind this application development process. And then I'll be explaining some applications of the augmented reality, what you can do using this augmented reality technology. So I'll be showing some existing applications developed by popular companies globally. So you will get better understanding where you can apply these learnings, this technical knowledge to address a common problem, and how you can solve these common problems using these innovative solutions, especially with augmented reality. Then we'll be opening up our Q&A forum, and then we'll be winding up our session together with some further resources I'll be sharing with you so you can explore. All right. I hope you are excited to attend with this. So let's get started. First thing, so I know most of you are undergraduates, and there were some school students also registered. There were registrations, and also there are 2-3 registrations from industry also. So whatever, from where, it doesn't matter from where you are coming, but if you can revise your grade 8 or grade 9 textbooks. So when you are learning science, let's say, so when you are learning this solar system, how did you learn? So basically, you might have already referred textbooks, right? So related to solar system, maybe a diagram like this, or maybe a photo, or maybe you are reading a textbook, something. So there are different mediums that you can use to gather information, to communicate informations here and there, including electronic media. So if you look at a textbook, a printed material, maybe to share information about solar system, you can actually read it and look that particular diagram or image and get some idea. So these sources are transferring information in different ways. So if you look at this particular slide, so by looking at this photo, you have kind of a perspective. You are looking at kind of a top-down approach here. So you are looking at the high-level overall solar system structure, how these planets are moving around our sun. There are some different information that you can derive by looking at this particular diagram. So one information can be like our sun is situated in the middle of our solar system. And you can say all other planets are moving around our sun. So likewise, there are some informations that you can derive by looking at an image like this or a diagram. Next, I'm coming to text-based information. So for an example, so now there's a fact here. So this fact says our entire solar system, including our sun and all the planets and moons, everything together as a one common system, together our solar system itself also traveling in the space. So there's a fact given, like there's a speed to our solar system. Our solar system is actually moving. Actually, our Milky Way, it's moving in, and it has some kind of speed value also. So that's a fact. But this particular speed factor, so now I'm giving a speed like 800,000 and 28,000 kilometers per hour. This particular speed factor or this particular information, actually now you are getting to know by reading this text. But if you look at this particular diagram, you can't get that information, right? You can't sense, or you don't have any means of getting that particular speed fact. Like you can't feel like this particular solar system is moving. So what I want to emphasize here is the way you look at some different things is matter. It matters, and it depends. The perspective depends on depends, and it determines how much of information, how much of data facts you can get out of an image or a text. So by reading a text, you get some set of information. By looking at a diagram, you get another set of information. But what if you are looking at a video like this? So now this video that I'm going to play, it will deliver a lot of information that you can never get out of text or an image. So now when you are looking at this particular video, I think you are getting a lot of information, like all the movements of each and every planet and how our solar system as a single unit, how it's moving towards some direction in our Milky Way or in our space, and what are the speed differences between each and every planet. So now the animation, it gives a lot of information than traditional text or image. So what I want to emphasize, or what I want you to understand, is when you look at different things, there are different perspectives that you can take. So depend on your perspective, depend on your angle that you are looking at some particular thing, you will get different data or facts out of it. So if you want to address, or if you want to develop a software solution or any kind of solution using these technologies, it always matters that how you look at different things, because your perspective is completely playing a big role when when it comes to delivering information. So this quote, actually, I took this from one of the advertisements from Microsoft. They actually presented this when they are releasing their mixed reality device, HoloLens. So this is really like a catchy statement that they brought into public. So if you can change the way you see the world, you can change the world you see. So I interpret this particular quote as like this. So when you look at any kind of an object or a natural scenario, a problem, whatever, there are multiple perspectives that you can see, you can take. But if you can look at different problems, different things using multiple perspectives, if you can change your angle of your viewing angle, then you can gather much more data and you can provide much more engaging, efficient solutions solving real world problems. So today I'm going to introduce a technology, or simply kind of a tool, for you to look at different things in different perspectives. So this is not a static perspective like you are referring image or reading a text. This augmented reality or this new technology that you are going to use will enable you to look at our world in a different perspective. So today I'm not going to teach you how to solve problems, but I'm going to give you a perspective or a tool to analyze these problems, and you will it will unleash lot of avenues, lot of opportunities for you to approach or tackle these problems in much more effective ways. And probably at the end of the day, at least you will be able to change the problem or solve those problems as a tech enthusiast. So that's my ultimate objective of this session. So you are already familiar with these digital devices. So you might be using smartphones, tablets, laptops, smart TVs, smart watches, everything. So using this technology, so we call like after the industrial revolution, now we are in a kind of information age. So all the global village concept, internet, everything is there. Now we are fully like having this digital life, smart devices, everything is there. But still, there's a kind of a limitation that every tech enthusiast or modern people are like having kind of a limitation. That is our screen size. So if you take any kind of this smart device, those screens are still 2D screens. So even you can watch 3D objects, 3D movies, everything, but still the device you are using, the device itself, there's this limitation, screen limitation, that is 2D screens. So always your viewing port or viewing space is limited. So there's a width and height, and everything, every information that you are getting out of these devices are limited to your physical screen size of your screen. So even though we have a lot of information, yeah, today it's like information overloaded time, right? So you have more than enough information on any kind of topic, but still everything is packed into a limited space. So today we are going to discuss innovative approach that people have invented to escape from these limits, screen limits. And we are going to look at how you can actually convert your entire 360 space into your digital environment. But still, while you are in the physical space. So I think you are very curious to know this. So today we are going to talk about only one technology among three. So these three technologies are virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. All of these three technologies help you to escape from these screen limitations. So you can get rid of using physical screen limited devices like traditional laptop, smartphone, or smartwatch. But if you can use a virtual reality capable application and hardware, or augmented reality enabled software plus hardware, or else if you can use mixed reality supported device together with mixed reality enabled applications, you can get rid of these screen limitations. Actually, all of these three technologies, those are helping you to do that. But today we are only focusing on augmented reality. So I'll be touching what is augmented reality, why you need to know that, and also I expect you to have bit of more understanding about mixed reality also, because today it's very popular. Like you can see augmented reality applications embedded in mixed reality devices. So I'll explain what are these two technologies, basically augmented reality and mixed reality. So now there's a technology called augmented reality. Still, I believe you don't know exactly what's happening there, but still there's a technology called augmented reality, and this helps you to get rid of physical screen dimensions, and it helps you to convert your entire physical surroundings into your digital environment. So that's now we are going to learn or look at exactly what this augmented reality is and what is this mixed reality next. So if I explain augmented reality in very basic terms, augmented reality means you can blend your any kind of virtual objects with your real world in real time. So if I explain it further, you need to use some kind of a device. Probably a smartphone is the most common hardware unit people are, especially general public, using for experiencing augmented reality. So a digital device, but of course you have to have a camera attached to your device. So best solution is your smartphone, Android, iOS, or other smartphone, because smartphones, they come with attached hardware unit for getting a camera feed. We need a camera feed. Then using this device, what you can do is you can preload some virtual objects to your application, to your device, and then you can create a program by giving some instructions to that program to scan entire surroundings, I mean the physical space, and then that application, we can instruct that application to augment or maybe project these virtual objects as they are in the real physical world. So for an example, so if you can see the first image in your left-hand side, this is one of the AR projects that we implemented when I was at university as an undergraduate. So this is a chemistry experiment we did using augmented reality. So there you can see, so this mobile phone is focused into a printed diagram. So that printed diagram and that page, those are physical elements. simply a book, a paper. Then, but you can see the green colored, this beaker or this container, that is a virtual object. So that virtual object, actually we modeled that and we loaded this object into our smartphone application as a virtual object, and we developed this augmented reality supported Android application to blend this virtual object in our physical environment. So that is what augmented reality is. So you can blend or you can bring your virtual objects into real world, but of course through a digital device together with a camera feed. You need a camera. So what's the magic of this? So actually now if you go back to our problem, device screen size limitation. So now there's no any limitation because you can almost convert any physical surrounding into augmented reality, because you can develop your application. It can augment objects on your maybe a working desk, or maybe you can augment or project this kind of objects even in your playground or your school ground, or even you can convert entire city into augmented reality playground. So if you have played Pokemon Go, so you know, like Pokemon Go is still considered as one of the top most popular augmented reality games. So this game actually it's an international game, right? So people there are players from Sri Lanka, players from Japan, Europe, US. So now it's a very big geographical area that we can use, you can utilize as augmented reality playground. So there's no any screen size limitation here. You can use all of your surroundings in a creative way, and you can get different information, different interactions. So if you look at the right most bottom diagram, so this is another like kind of a diagram showing how you can apply augmented reality in construction field. So if you look at a blueprint or plan of a building, so if you look at just the plan or this particular printed paper, so you can get kind of an idea what is going to be like your building that you are going to build. But if you make an augmented reality application for that, actually then you have to focus your camera into your plan or this blueprint, and you can see actually what kind of building that you are going to have at the end of the construction. So you can model your building, and then you can project your building as an augmented reality model. That means blending virtual object with real world, and you can see it from different perspective. So if you are looking at this particular plan from top view, from top perspective, that's simply 2D view. It's just like the solar system that you saw in our initial slides. But if you have this augmented reality, then you have 3D. And also, the interesting thing is you can move your device left, right, top, bottom, different angles, and you can experiment. So you can see your building from different angles, different perspectives, which means you will get much more information out of your augmented reality solution. So that's the basic simple explanation that I can give for you if you haven't experienced augmented reality before. So next, I'm going to show very small pet projects that I developed when I was learning augmented reality like 5-6 years ago. So let me show some of the projects, very simple projects, so you can get better idea what are the use cases or what kind of interactions you can do with augmented reality. So now what you are seeing here is there are some printed materials. So you are scanning these materials, and there's an Android application actually we built with augmented reality. So when our application and our device, when it is scanning these printed materials, it can actually identify different diagrams. So for an example, if I'm scanning this animal, so our application is capable of understanding the diagram that it's scanning is animal, not the planet Earth. So it can differentiate these images. And then after determining what's this image that it's scanning, then our application, augmented reality application, is capable of rendering that particular 3D model as augmented on this particular paper itself or the diagram. So now you should get some common idea, like there's a part of like image recognition part also. So we need to scan this image, and then we should determine this image. We should differentiate these images from other images, and then only we can project or augment our 3D or virtual objects on top of that. So this is, there are a lot of background things going on, including this image scanning, image recognition. And also, then we are heavily using our mobile phone camera, and we need to process our video feed mostly in near real time. And then we should project our virtual object on top of that. So there are a lot of background thing going behind. So you should know, like augmented reality, it's kind of a heavy computational task. So to execute these augmented reality applications, you should have kind of performance also. So you can't run these applications in very small fonts. Still, sometimes you can do it, but then you will experience lagging, or there are some application crashes can happen, or maybe your device can get overheated. So there are some performance aspect behind that also. So I'm not going to explain too much about the technical details behind these algorithms and these image processing techniques at the moment, but keep in mind that there are some performance, big performance demand for these particular applications. So just keep in mind that if you are to develop augmented reality applications, please keep in mind that your application should run smoothly in your device. One of the fundamentals in these immersive technologies, virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, is the application should execute smoothly. Because if your application is not running smoothly, the user of this application will not actually enjoy this experience, this immersive experience. Users probably will get bored of it, or they will consider this as kind of like a headache for them. Actually, if especially this happens with virtual reality. So if there are application lags happening, probably users will get motion sickness, or different like head pain, or they will feel like it's a very like tiring work. If your application is like running like if there are a lot of lags, and if your application gets stuck at some point and then it continues to execute, and then again coming up another lag, then it's not going to have a very good idea or not good application. So augmented reality also, this model. So if I'm moving my phone around this diagram, for an example, let's say if I'm augmenting 3D planet Earth when I'm scanning this particular image, then this particular 3D object should actually reflect my phone movements. If not, if our model is stick somewhere, and if user is taking his or her phone somewhere else, and if there's no any if there's no any match, then of course users will feel this is not a very good application, and they will not use this application. So please keep in mind that there's a performance demand also. So you need to work on that. Okay, so I basically gave you a very brief idea what is like to develop augmented reality applications, what are the use cases, but still I know you have a lot of curiosity behind it. But don't worry, so now we are going to develop augmented reality application, and then you will realize practically how you can do it. So, so first, now I'm jumping into the development session, and then you can also get an idea. So I hope you might have already installed the development setup related to this particular session. I think organizing committee they passed this message. So if you have Unity 3D installed, now you can open it up. And also you need a Euphoria account also. I think at least username password. So you need to have it. But if you don't have, don't worry. I'll share those resources. And if you don't have this development environment set up, you can watch this video. And if you need, you can take some notes. And later maybe you can try it out. Okay. So let me share my.
Sorry for interrupting, Mr. Yahas. So actually, a quick announcement. So I know that some people have registered recently. I mean, before this session start, before 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So those who have registered, I think that pre-requisite hasn't got yet for them. So that email didn't receive for them. So yeah, but we will share the recording and after the session, and also those who have registered before, we have emailed the prerequisite to them before. So I think they have installed. So yeah, that's the announcement. So no worries.
Great. So don't worry. I'll be doing this session in very simple terms, step by step. So don't worry even though if you don't have this development setup, all the steps I'll be explaining. So maybe you can take some notes and you can try it out on your own. So actually I have divided this development session actually into two steps. One is like you will be developing a very simple augmented reality application. Actually, there's no any coding involved in this particular first step, but you can actually end up augmented reality application. So for that, that's why I picked a very simple stack for you. So we are going to use this tool called Unity 3D. Unity 3D is a kind of a game engine. Simply, it's also kind of an IDE, a tool that we can use to develop programs. But in Unity 3D, it's specially designed to design interactive immersive games. So most of the like action games that you are playing are developed using Unity 3D, and also there's another competitor for Unity, that's Unreal. So these are like going tie to tie. So today we are using Unity 3D. So you can download Unity 3D if you Google Unity 3D. You can download Unity 3D free version. Free version is more than enough for this activity. And then I'm going to use another library for augmented reality called Euphoria. Euphoria, it's a commercial library, but still there's a free version for you to try out. So we are using that particular library. So the reason behind selecting this tech stack, this particular tools and this technology library is personally, I believe this is the very easy entry point for anyone who are interested in AR. But remember, when you are getting familiar with these developments, I highly encourage you to explore other available libraries, other available tools, and I will guide you. I will show how to refer this Euphoria documentation and stuff also. So you don't need to like limit yourself into the technology stack that we are talking today, but take this as the entry point. Personally, I believe this is very easy for anyone to grab. Right. So first thing, you have to download Unity, and it's very easy. So go to Google, search Google in Google, search as Unity 3D download and install. It supports Windows, Mac, Linux also. I think Linux also. So you can download it and install. So then you can run it. So actually nowadays Unity comes with two applications actually called Unity Hub and Unity 3D. I recommend you to install both. It comes as a single package. There you have the option to install both. So I installed Unity Hub and Unity 3D. So when you're opening Unity, first you will get this Unity Hub. So there you don't need to worry too much. Only thing is you can create a new project from here. So you can click this new button and you can create a project. So there can be people who are not getting this particular window, but maybe a registration window or asking you to sign up. So if that's the case, please create a Unity account using your email. Then of course you can get this particular UI. So from here, I'm just clicking this new button. There, Unity is giving us different options actually, different project templates. So there are Unity version of AR also, but that's actually I downloaded from the store. Sometimes you will not get this particular template. So for everyone, I'm pretty sure you will get 2D and 3D templates. So by default, you should get this. So let's go ahead with 3D and then we'll convert our project into an augmented reality version later. So I'm going ahead with 3D. Then you can give a simple name. Let's say something, a project name, and you can create your project. Right. Right. If you don't, if you can't see my screen or something, please let me know. Still my Unity is loading, so it will take maybe like 50 seconds something to load all the packages and everything, and it will present you this Unity workspace. So I'll explain what is this Unity workspace and what you can do with Unity. So just wait a couple of more seconds. Right. So this is the by default, this is the view that you are getting when you are creating an empty project with Unity. So Unity, there are different panels, different views, different toolbars. So I'll explain only the relevant ones for our activity. So this is our working space, actually this scene. So in our working space, it's a 3D space. So here you can switch into 2D also if you want, but let's keep it as 3D. And you can use your mouse, and you're using your mouse scroll wheel together. You can actually zoom in, zoom out, and you can change your perspectives. Even you can use this particular XYZ axis here. So you can click them and see how it changes this perspective of this environment or this working space. So yeah, so that's our working space. And in your right hand side, in your default view, probably will get this hierarchy panel. So hierarchy is the one, like it's the project hierarchy, or it lists down all the components that we are using to build up our project. Then there's another panel called project in bottom of the screen in your default view. So if you are not getting these views, probably you can go to window, and there you can enable different panels. So if you don't see project panel, you can go to window and go to general, and then you can click project. So your panel will be there. So actually you can change the positions and everything, just like just like in other applications. If you don't like to have it in the bottom, you can move it to left hand side or right hand side. So I'll keep it as it is in the default view. And another important thing is in your right hand side, there's a panel called inspector. It's a very important one. It's like the property panel of your different components that you are working with Unity. So we will be using this inspector panel in our activity also, right? So we have our development tool Unity ready. Now the next thing, you need our AR library. So for our AR library, actually, we are using this particular AR compatible library called Vuforia. So Vuforia is a very powerful library for augmented reality applications. Actually, it's a very, very powerful framework. Actually, you can do crazy stuff with Vuforia together with Unity. Actually, Vuforia Direct support working with Unity. Their libraries are much more optimized to work with Unity, as well as you can use with Android Studio also. So I picked up this because it's very easy for you to do, and also it has a lot of capabilities. Right, so you can go to developer.vuforia.com. Even you can Google this and go to this particular page. So go to developer.vuforia.com and you have to register. You have to have an account there. So there can be people who are with the account, so they can actually log in. Others, maybe you can create an account, or maybe not take a note and later you can try out. Right, so I just logged in. So when you are logged in, you will see maybe a UI like license manager. It will list down, if you have projects, it will list down. So don't worry about this so far. What I'm interested right now is you have to go to download section. There's a tab called downloads. You can go there and you can download this particular topmost package. So you need to download this, add Vuforia engine to Unity project, or upgrade to latest version. So you can download this. This is kind of a big package, but it's packed with all these Vuforia features. So you can download this. If you are in future, if you are working with Android Studio, you can download the Android version, iOS version, or Microsoft version. But I would like to highlight another thing here. When you are working with Unity, the beauty of Unity is once you build a project, AR project using Vuforia with Unity, then you can export this particular project into Android, iOS, Windows, even Oculus headset. And there are a lot of platforms, supported platforms there. So you don't need to develop separately for Android or separately for iOS. If you're going ahead with Unity, it's one single application. With very minor tweaks, you can optimize your application and simply build your output into different platforms, which is another advantage of using Unity. So please, you can download this particular first library there. So I have already downloaded it. So I'm going to import it into Unity. Right, let me show it to you. And anyways, I'll share this link also, maybe via the Zoom chat. So maybe you can save it and later you can directly go there and download this as well. Right. So next thing, what I'm going to do is, so I have already downloaded my Unity supported Vuforia library. So it's a very simple thing that I have to do to import. So like select your project panel and maybe to this particular space, you can drag and drop this Vuforia library. So I have already downloaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm just dragging it and I'm going to drop this Vuforia package into my Unity space. So there, actually I dragged and dropped my package. So there, now you can see in this project panel, there's a folder called packages. So in the packages, actually there are some different packages already here. So these are different Unity packages that we can use. And also we have assets. In assets folder, there are different assets, different materials, different objects that we can use. So there's no any hard and fast rule here to like organize this stuff. You can feel free, you can organize your project files accordingly. So now when we are dragging and dropping our Vuforia library into this particular space, By default, you will get this kind of prompt asking you to import this Vuforia library. So probably you will select all and hit import. So this Vuforia library will be imported into your project space. Now it's compiling your scripts, and then you can see your Vuforia files appearing inside your Unity. So sometimes you will get a request to upgrade your scripts. If this is coming, you can click update, and it will update some of the scripts, and it will be available soon for you to work. So what we are doing here. So I told you in augmented reality, there are a lot of background tasks that we should do if we are doing from the scratch, like image processing, image detection. There are feature detection, different algorithms are there. So there are a lot of background work. But as developers, actually, we don't need to reinvent some stuff. There are already implemented libraries for that. We don't need to worry too much about that. But if you're into research aspects, if you are doing a research to improve performance of augmented reality or something, of course, you have to implement your own image processing algorithms, augmented reality support, background services, everything by your own. But today we are talking about development perspective. So we don't need to worry about too much about these behind background tasks. So this Vuforia, it's doing all the image processing, image detection, everything for you. It is very plus point. So you can directly import their services and build your application on top of that. So that's what we are going to do. Right. So I told you, like I was importing this Vuforia. So now you can see our Vuforia also already imported into our project panel. So there, if I go to packages folder, now you can see we have folder called Vuforia engine. So in this particular folder, Vuforia engine AR, there are different files that just imported via our activity, dragging and dropping. Right. So we have Vuforia already, so we can directly get started. Right. So to start now, our Unity project is still bare project, nothing much there. We have in our hierarchy panel, we have main camera and directional light. So actually, we are going to develop AR application, so we don't need this main camera component. So I can remove it. So I'll remove it, delete it from the scene. So I right click on that, and from the drop down, I click delete. I'll keep direction light, but you can maybe even adjust. So it's actually a light, virtual light that you can use to illuminate some objects, 3D objects that you put into this particular working area. So don't worry too much about that at this moment. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to import our Vuforia objects or Vuforia game objects into our Unity project. So we just imported library. Now we are going to use our library. How we are going to do it? So I just right click in somewhere in our hierarchy panel. There, now I can see Vuforia engine menu item appearing in this particular menu. So if you're not getting this particular Vuforia engine menu item, probably there's an issue with the importing of this Vuforia library. So maybe you have to re-download that Vuforia package and re-import to project space, or maybe a issue with your Unity, maybe Unity is outdated or something. So probably check on that. If you have successfully, if you can do it, probably you can expect this particular menu item appearing in your left click this particular menu as a menu item. So from there, we are interested in AR camera. So I'm going to import or add AR camera into our hierarchy. So in the hierarchy now, AR camera, simply augmented reality camera provided by Vuforia, is now available. So in our project scene also, now you can see there are some changes happening. Right, so let's keep AR camera like that. Now we have just one more Vuforia component. We need to add it to hierarchy. So that's again, I'm going to right click, and from this Vuforia engine, I'm going to pick the second one also, called image target. Image target. So that's another PM object that we are going to add into our hierarchy. All right. So what we did, we removed main camera and we added AR camera and image target into our hierarchy. Now those are appearing here. So how you can add them? Simply right click your hierarchy. From the menu item, go to Vuforia engine and you can pick these top two items one by one. Then those will be appeared here. Right. So now our Unity project, it got modified with these Vuforia components. Now we have a bit of configurations to do. Right. Those are, first you have to click on AR camera and now go to this inspector panel. So inspector panel, it should appear in your right hand side in the default view. If you are not getting this, go to window and there you can find your inspector panel under general. So you can add them. Right. So first select AR camera, then all the properties related to AR camera will be visible to you. There, go to this particular button, click this button. It's under Vuforia behavior. There you should see a button called Open Vuforia Engine Configuration. So I'm going to click it. So now you will see another panel for Vuforia configuration. There you have to add a Vuforia license key. So you can continue using Vuforia. So you have to add a license key, which is very easy. All you have to do is just click this add license button. So when you're clicking that particular button, your browser will automatically open and you will be navigated into this particular UI called License Manager. So you have to log in first. If you have already logged in, you will be redirected to this particular UI. So if you are not getting this, also you can manually log into this developer.vuforia.com and go to develop tab. From the develop tab, you can see or you can get this particular UI. There, you can create a new development key. So I'm going to click get development key and Vuforia will ask you to enter kind of a name. So let's say test AR. And you are going to create a free development key, no charge, and you can use it for a lot of activities. So don't worry. But for commercial purposes, if you're building, probably you may go ahead with the commercial version. But for development purposes, you can go ahead with the free one. Then I'm going to confirm this. Then Vuforia will give me, this is the project that we created, test AR. There, they will issue this particular license key. So this particular license key, you can copy it, this particular entire license key, then come back to Unity. And here, there's an input box called app license key. You can paste this particular license key that you created. And then that's it. So it will be added into your AR camera inspector property. Right. Now we added, so the license key is actually this licensing model with Vuforia, their configuration. So you have to do it to continue using this. So that's why we added it. Next thing, now what is our target? Now what we are going to do? So actually what I'm going to do today is actually I'm going to convert a book into AR. I'm going to convert a book into AR. So I have the physical book. So I took a photo of my book and just a while ago. So this is my book cover, right? So this is my book cover. I have the physical book with me as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create augmented reality application, which is capable of identifying this particular book cover, and then I'm going to project or augment a virtual object. Simply, today I'm using a 3D model car, or you can put any model in augmented reality space, and then you can interact with it. So that's my plan. So first thing, our augmented reality application or simply our Unity project should be capable of identifying this particular image, right? So we have to give instructions to our applications to detect this image first. First, this book needs to be detected, then only we can project our 3D model, right? So I have this particular image. So now if you are doing this, find any book or any object. Even you can take a photo of your desk or something. If there's any object, you can take a photo and you can do this task. Or even if you have a textbook, take a photo of a diagram or whatever the thing that you want to convert into augmented reality. So you can take a photo. So now I am going to feed, or I'm going to load this particular image into a project and instruct Unity project to detect this image. Right. For that, all I have to do is I'm again going into AR camera, and there the same button that we clicked earlier, open for engine configuration. There we added license key now. There, if you scroll down a bit down, there you will be see a subsection called databases. There you will see no databases added and a button to add a database. So we are going to click this, which will redirect you to Euphoria web UI, and there you can create a database of these particular images. So I'll click this. So now we are going into the same Euphoria developer panel, but earlier we were at license manager, but now we are redirecting into target manager. So target manager is a place that we create to keep different images or augmented reality supported. We call in augmented reality context, we call image markers or AR markers, simply different photos. And we put everything together as a database. So we are going to create a database using this particular UI. Don't worry too much about the existing databases. Those are my previous project ones. So if you are going to this particular page for the first time, you will see no databases here, but an empty list. So please click this particular button, add database. There you can give a database name. I'll call this test ARDB. Then in Unity, there are different types of databases you can create. On device, cloud, view, mark, 3 types. So on device means actually, now imagine you have a science book and there are 100 diagrams in 100 different pages. If you are to develop AR application for this entire textbook, you have to take 100 different photos and put it into a database. So you can do it simply. But the thing is, then you have to think the application size as well. So if you are creating on-device database, that means all the 100 photos of each and different diagrams will be stored in your smartphone itself. Or the other approach is you can keep your database in cloud, and only when it's needed, you can download the relevant files from the database. And that is cloud version. But to do the cloud version, you have to have active internet connection, proper connectivity. There might be data charges involved. It can happen. So it's up to the developer to decide what's the way. But in this example, it's simply one image. So I will go ahead with device, on device database. That means this database, you have to download and you have to import into Unity and package it into your Android or iOS mobile application. So when you say installing this application, this database also will be installed into this particular device. ViewMark is something very cool, innovated by this Vuforia. It's kind of a QR code kind of a thing in their own version. So if you are interested, please read further. It's kind of a dynamic image QR code kind of generation service. So you can create database based on this ViewMark type as well. But at the moment, I'm not going to explain too much about this, considering your level. So these two are totally enough at this moment, but I am more interested in the on device. So I'll pick it, and I have a database name given. So I'll create it. Right. So my database actually I just created, so it should be the most recent one. Test ARDB, this one. So once you are done with the creation of database, you will see this particular database name appearing here. So you can click it. Right. And then you can add this image or whatever you need into this particular database. So I'm going to add this particular image into this particular database. So you can simply add it. So you can click add target. You have to click this add target button. There you will get this particular UI. There you actually Vuforia supports like 3D targets also, 3D objects, cylinders, cubes, everything. But at the moment, like we'll go ahead with single image. So we have a single image actually, not a 3D object. So we have the image, so you can browse it and you can add it. Right. So I'm going to add my image target here. Right. So it's a book cover. Then they will ask a bit. Actually, this is kind of a relative measurement. Don't think too much. Like you have to maintain kind of a measurement, kind of a unit specific to your 3D environment. So here I'll enter 100. So it's a kind of a relative measurement. Then you can give a name for your image. So in this case, I'll put the default one, book cover, and I'll add it. So now I'm uploading my image into Vuforia, and they will create a database for you. And now let's say now I just uploaded only one single image, right? So if you have like 100 images, you can do the same process and upload everything into the same database. So you can have multiple. Right. Next, this is important. So in front of this image, you will see a rating. So there are 5 stars given. That means actually Vuforia will tell you the clarity of your image, and they will give stars. So I encourage you to have at least 4 stars for your images that you're uploading. So more stars you have, that means your applications can easily detect your image, right? So more stars means more easily detectable. It's much more fast. So always, maybe when you are doing this for the first time, sometimes some images, if the image quality is low, or if the image is too complicated, or if it is blurred, you will get 1 or 2 stars. In that case, I don't recommend to proceed. So you can delete it and upload a new image and proceed. And also, so if you're too interested, I'll explain this. If I go to this particular image, if I click it, there's an option called show features. So if you click it, you can see this feature detection, how this Vuforia is doing this feature detection. So all these shapes, these edges, these special points, they have automatically detected. Actually, there are actual algorithms going on, but in Vuforia, it's very easy for us because everything is done automatically from the background. So you don't need to worry. I just showed you if there are any interested people. So you just need to upload your image, and now it's ready. So you can download it. So you can select whatever the uploaded image is here, and click download database button. There, this is important, so don't click Android Studio one. We need Unity Editor version. So tick that Unity Editor version and click download button. So this database will be downloaded into your machine. So they will download. So if you have 100 images, now all the 100 images will be downloaded into your machine, right? So now in your machine, you will see your downloaded database. All you have to do is go to that particular downloaded file. You can double click and open it, or else you can drag and drop your database into this Unity project space. So that's what I am going to do. I'm going to drag and drop this particular, this is the database file we just downloaded. So I'll place it here. Right, so there also you will get this import wizard. Select all and click import. So your database will be ready. Right, great. Now we have this image database also. So now I'm going to this AR camera, and from the inspector, open for your engine configurations. There you can see under these databases, now your database name is appearing automatically. That means your import is success. So you have this database. If you want more databases, you can add more databases also, but our database is now ready. Good. Now, if you can see in our hierarchy, we have another game object or another element called image target. So these are the final configurations that we do for image detection. So I click on image target, then I go to inspector panel. There, all you have to do is, you can see in image target behavior, there's an option called type. So from the type, you can put it into database type. Then you can select your database here. So our database name will be automatically appear here. Select it. And then you can select your image target or simply your image. So if you can remember, in our database, we had only one image. So the drop down will show only one menu item. But if you have 100 images, there will be 100 images appearing in as a list in the drop down. So you can pick whatever you want and select it. So you can maintain one image target for one image detection. So if you have 100 pages, you can have multiple image target objects, and you can assign different images from your database for each and different image target. Here we have only one image target assigned to one particular image, and that's there. So I can even see this if I change this perspective. I'm watching from top. So now our image is there, assigned to our image target. So it's there, it's ready. Okay, so we are actually like 90% work done. Now, all we have to do is, we have to say what kind of object, 3D object, that we are going to blend with this particular real world object. So this book is actually a physical object that I have right now. But now I am going to augment or show different 3D model on top of this book cover now. So I have to say what kind of 3D model that I'm going to populate on top of this page. For that, you have to have kind of a 3D model. So there are like a lot of ways that you can actually, if you're good at 3D Max, you can design your own 3D model and import your model into Unity, or else actually Unity also, they themselves, they are having assets store. So there are free 3D models also, or else you can download 3D models from the internet. So if I show you Unity Asset Store, you can go to Unity window, then from here Asset Store, there you will get this kind of a small view. Let's browse using our internet browser, it's more easier. So you can click search online and your browser will open. So there you can see this is a Unity Asset Store. there you can search different 3D objects. So let's say maybe book. So there are a lot of books coming up. So there are paid versions. If you want free, you can filter out selecting free versions. So there are free models also, right? So likewise, these are free objects. So you can use this kind of thing. So it's very easy. So you can click it, whatever you want, and you can click add to my assets, and you can import it into Unity in this particular way. And also there are a lot of websites you can find some free 3D models if you want. So one website is, I'll share the link, this one. So I particularly use this CG Trader. There are a lot of free models you can download. So I just searched some car models. There I picked up this particular 3D model. There I'm planning to use this particular model for our activity. But it doesn't matter, whatever the 3D object you can use. So I'll share this particular link with you. So if there's anyone who is doing this particular activity together with me and looking forward to use this particular same 3D model, they can use this one. So I'm going to use this, but you feel free, you can use, but there are some tips that I can give. If you are a beginner to Unity, always try to download models with FBX format. FBX I recommend, because these models are like very easy to import, and there are color materials, everything inbuilt in most of these models. So try to import FBX or OBJ models also supported in Unity, but I recommend FBX. It's more easy to work. And also you can import like 3D Max models also, but for that you need to have 3D Max installed in your machine. So I don't have it right now. So 3D Max will not work in that case. So, but there are a lot of FBX models available. So I actually downloaded this particular model. So I'll show my model to you, model file. Right. So this is my model file. This is the FBX format, the model that I just downloaded from this particular website. So I have it. So what I'm going to do now is I'll import this particular model into my Unity assets, this particular space. So let me drag and drop it. Right. So Unity will import this particular model, and it will be available to use in a couple of seconds. So, right, we are done. So we have this model also. It's a car model. So our model is ready. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll add this particular model into our hierarchy. I'll drag it and drop it. So you can drag and drop into this working space also. You can drag it and drop here, or you can put it in the hierarchy also. So our model will be visible. So this is our model. So you can see our model name appearing in a hierarchy. So if I double click this, your view will be zoomed into this particular model. Right, our model is ready. But now you can see model is very small compared to this image. So we have two options. We can scale down our image, or we can scale up our model. So this is how the scene is going to look like when you deploy this application to mobile phone, that we are going to do in a couple of more minutes. So we need a bigger model, right? At least the model should be similar to size of, at least size of the book. But now model is very small, so we can scale up. Right. So as a practice, what I'm doing first is I'll select this particular model, and I'll go to inspector, and I'll make sure these position values are all zeros. That means this is a coordinate XYZ axis now. So I'll make sure to keep my model in the middle, and image target also positioned in 0, 0, 0. So it's very easy for me to work. Now I can scale up this model. So there are many ways. One thing is you select the model, and from by pressing what is the key, actually I forget. So you can press, wait, so, right, so you can actually press keyboard R, and you can get this scale like controllers. So you can move, and you can change axis X, Y, Z accordingly. But in this case, there's an easier way also. So you select the model. Actually, I think I renamed this model, so I maybe. You can change names and everything, it doesn't matter. So this is a model. So I'll select it, and I'll scale up using this inspector. So I'll give values like maybe 28 for X, 28 for Y, 28 for Z. Right. Now you can see my model is relatively okay. It's looking bigger than previous. Right. And I can change this view perspective and see from different angle also. I have placed, so when you are doing this also, make sure your model is like placed on top of this particular image target. If not, your model will be somewhere else. And when you're actually testing this application, you will find it very difficult to see this augmented reality version of this particular model. So if you are using book, you will see a book. If you are using a character, person, then that particular model is there. So likewise. So in this case, I'm using this car model, right? Now, look at this carefully. Some students, some participants in my previous workshops, they actually did this wrong. So they didn't get the augmented reality output if you miss this particular step. That is, you have to assign, or you have to tell your augmented reality application, like, if you detect this particular book cover, you have to show this model, car model. So for the book cover, it's car model. Imagine you have another photo of your, maybe a diagram of Earth. So for the Earth diagram, the model is not the car. It's maybe a 3D world, a 3D Earth or something. So always you have to create this relationship. What is the image linked to the 3D model? So how you are going to build this relationship? So it's a very simple. So in our case, we have only one image target. So all you have to do is your 3D model, you put it as a child element of the image target. That means you drag your car model and you put it on top of your image target from on your hierarchy panel. So I'm dragging car model and I'm dropping it on top of image target, right? So now you can see in hierarchy, our car model, now it became a child element of the image target. So this is how you create the relationship. So you have image target, and now under your image target, you have your car model. So imagine in your case, you have another image target 2. For that, you may have another 3D model. So you can put a child element of that particular image target there as well. Likewise, you can go on adding object image targets and 3D objects. For here, now I have linked these two. For this image target, this is the 3D object that we are going to get. All right. So we have it linked, and now actually we are done. Now we can test this. So now what are the options to test? So you don't need to deploy this to a mobile phone and test. So you can use your web camera and test this before deploying into a mobile phone. So for that, there are some settings. Go to AR camera, and there go back to OpenO4 engine configurations. There scroll down. There you can see option called play mode. From the play mode, select play mode type, as select webcam. Then there's an option called camera device. There you can select your web camera. So whatever the web camera you have, it will appear here. So you can link it. So this is the web camera that I'm going to use right now. So I'll select it. Right. And now I can actually run this and show you the output. So let me run this. So how to run Unity projects? It's very easy. There's a play button here. So you can click it. Then you can see this application up and running. So I executed it. So it will load this application. And yeah, right. So this is the web camera that you are seeing. This is the book. And when I'm focusing, now you can see my car model is visible as augmented reality model in this particular project, right? So it's more interactive now. So you can rotate your phone here and there, or you can rotate your book. So it's a like more engaging experience than reading a book. For an example, let's say you have to learn about this automobile, this particular car, or let's say you're building an AR application for this Land Rover. So you can actually let your customers to experiment the features of this vehicle by designing application like that. So you can put whatever. So you can put a model of a 3D heart, and you can let students to learn about 3D heart, whatever. So this is more interactive, and it's not just watching a video even. So they can actually play with it and see it, right? So there are actually, in this case, there are no animations, but you can add more animations, more interactions. You can actually add labels. You can put arrows, 3D arrows, and label some stuff. There are a lot. So this is a very basic AR experiment that I can show you. I think I have maybe give me 3-4 minutes. I'll just add one more interaction to this application, and let's try to improve this a little bit more. So you will get a bit more idea here there. So I'll explain how to add a very basic interaction, actually a virtual button. So there you need bit of coding, but if there are people who are very new to this C#, this coding, Unity scripts, don't worry too much. I'm showing the possibilities. So feel free to explore after this session. So I'll do it very quickly. If not, I will run out of time, but you have this video. If you want, you can refer. And also I'll try to do a very small activity in this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a user interaction to this augmented reality application. So the technique that I'm going to use is called virtual buttons. Virtual buttons. So in AR, you can implement. So if you look at a simple mobile phone application, there are buttons, right? Login button, exit button, logout button, there are buttons. In AR, you can implement augmented reality buttons or virtual buttons. So it's a really like a creative, innovative idea. You can let users to like interact with these experiments or AR models. So how I'm going to do it? I'm going to image target this particular game object. There, in the instructor panel, I can see, actually it's by default, it's collapsed, section called advanced. I'll expand it. There, I can see a button called add virtual button. So I'll add a virtual button. I'll click it. Now, when I'm clicking it, you can see from the inspector panel, under image target, I'm getting this new object, virtual button. So it's actually there, so I can place it as I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the placement. So I'll select this and I'll press keyboard, I'll click this and I'll click the keyboard character E. So it's a shortcut. So I can, I'll get this XYZ axis there for the virtual button. So I can change the position. Even you can change the position using these XYZ values also. So I'll make sure to place it somewhere like, you can see this blue box, right? So that area acts like a virtual button now. So maybe I'll place it somewhere like, I have this black circle here called global bestseller. So I'll cover that area and I'll make it my virtual button space. And I'll make it a little bit narrow down like this. And I'll maybe just expand it a little bit like this. Okay, I covered this global bestseller area as a virtual button. And then I'll select car model and I'll just move it a bit further away. So I have a bit more space then. Right, so this is virtual button, it's ready. Now we have to add a bit more coding here. So I'll add a very small code block and add this interaction. So all you have to do is you can click this image target element, go to inspector, there, scroll down in the inspector panel and click add component button. So from that component button, there will be a lot of components appearing. We are interested in new script. So we'll click new script. There you can add a script name. So I will say AR script. Right. So actually I added a script called AR script. Right. So it's there now. Actually, you can also see this AR script in your project project section also. So you can even search here as AR script. So you can find it here also, or else you can click image target. And if you scroll down, now you should be able to see AR script. So I double click AR script. So it will open up probably if you have Visual Studio Code that, or whatever the code editor you have. In this case, I'm opening it up using Sublime, whatever the text editor it will work. So there are a few lines of code that you have to add. So in this case, first thing I need to import Vuforia package. I need to import it. Then I'm just going to create two variables here. So this is actually C#. So in Unity, you can script, you can code, and you can add much more functionality. So that's what we are going to do. So simply I'll add two variables here. So I'm going to create these two variables. So I'll quickly add them. If not, we'll run out of time. So there are two variables that I just added. One is a variable, actually a game object called car. Then this is a Vuforia type object called virtual button behavior. So I named it as virtual VBT to denote virtual button. Then inside this void start block, you can actually program this to work with different interactions. So simply in this case, I'm going to use inbuilt Vuforia two functions actually called this register button pressed and register button register on button released. So where you are going to find this? So I'll show you how you can refer this documentation. So if you go to Vuforia documentation, I'll share the link. There actually they have given all their supported functions. So you can refer them. So in this moment, I'm using register on button released and register on button pressed events. So you can see the description also there. So I'm going to use their these two functions. So I'll paste this particular link in the Zoom chat also. So if you are interested, you can explore more. So for the demonstration purposes, I'll quickly go through only with these two. And then by default, I'm setting this state of this game object as false. So that means what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hide my model at the beginning. And if the user touches this particular area in the physical book, then we are going to show this particular vehicle model. So we are going to on and off this particular 3D model. That's what we are going to do right now. So we don't need this update method at this moment. So we can remove it. Then we just need to implement register on button pressed and register on button released functions, these methods below. So for that, I'll quickly add, there are just 4-5 lines of code. I'll quickly add it. These are the methods that we are using for on button pressed. We have this particular method. So what we are doing, by clicking this particular on button, on firing up this particular function, we will set our car active status into true. That means users will see the car. When users are releasing the button, we are setting the status into false. That means we are hiding the object. So this is totally enough for this simple interaction. I'll save this. And so when you're coding, if you are using Unity for the first time, maybe if there's any script errors, there may be errors coming up in your console. So be mindful about that. So there are no any errors at this moment. That means our script is, there are no syntax errors. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play my project again or execute this project. And let's see how it goes. So I actually executed this application. Right. Let me actually let me open my the camera. Right. Right. So actually, by default, this model should be like hidden, but it's not happening. So now I went to console. So here you can see there's an error coming. So it says object set reference set not set to instance of the object. So there's an error. So that's why our script is not working. So you can keep your eye on that. So if your scripts are not working, probably you have to check on your console and fix them before executing. So in this case, I have not set my object reference to my script. There's an error. So I know what is this error means. So simply actually we added a script to this image target, but we didn't actually mention what is our car model and what is our virtual button to the script. So we have to denote it. So I know if you are listening this lecture without a prior knowledge on Unity, I know this might sound like very complex, but I'm sorry, we don't have time to explain all the Unity features, but I'm mentioning them. So if you're curious enough, I believe you're capable of watching a lot of tutorials are there. I'm just showing that these stuff are possible with Unity. So in Unity, actually, in this case, I have to mention or link my car model and virtual button model with the script. So it's very easy. So I'll point out. Sorry, I'll bring this car model into this particular place, car. So I'm dragging my car model into this particular field in AR script. This is the one we just created in image target. And also I need to refer virtual button for VBT variable. So now I referred my car model and virtual button to these variables. So now I think hopefully our error should be fixed. Let's see. Right. Okay, now you can see, maybe I'll maximize. So by default, our car model should be hidden. And so by default model is hidden. So when I touch this, you can see our model is visible, right? So when my hand is out, the model is not there. When I touch this, model is there. So now this particular area works as a virtual button. So this is a virtual button. So when users are tapping it, something happens. So there's an interaction, right? So this is simple model or mechanism that I am showing you. So you can be creative enough, and now you can come up with different AR interactions also. So maybe it can be a chemistry experiment. I'll show a video actually. A chemistry experiment actually people have developed using virtual buttons, and you can add different animations. And there are a lot of stuff that you can do with these virtual buttons, and there are a lot more interactions supported by Euphoria. So I just wanted to show there are possibilities like that. Right. So so that's it, the hands-on session. I hope at least it helped you to get some idea about this particular augmented reality development side. So then I'll quickly go through these augmented reality applications. What are the applications there? So one application is you can use augmented reality for education. So this is one experiment done in AR to explain about animals to students. Right, so here you can see there are a lot of interactions, but still in this experiment also there are virtual buttons also added. So depending on these virtual buttons, you can see a man is moving the hand in the air, but that particular space is marked as a virtual button. So that's why it's looking like that. So this is one cool experiment actually done by one startup, international startup. So that's one thing that I wanted to show. And the next one, it's actually chemistry experiment. It's also from a startup called Envision AR. So look at this, how they have added virtual reality, augmented reality, making much more interactive chemistry experiment application. Right. So next thing, if you're using Google Maps, so actually almost year or 1.5 years back, they actually introduced AR into Google Maps also. Now it's there, AR Live View. So this is also another application for navigation. So especially like modern car manufacturers now, they are going ahead with adding augmented realities for their entertainment system as a navigation method. So with arrows and these directions in AR, they believe it's more effective way of delivering information to drivers without distracting much. So this is another application of AR, and there are a lot. I'll present two more applications. One thing is especially even when I was working at the IT industry, I worked in a project, a Norwegian large-scale warehouse management system. There also I witnessed how much technology that they use. So this application is how augmented reality is using in warehouse management industry.
5 by 5 and a weight of 0.5 kilogram. It's non-fragile. Pick 2.
Two okay. One okay.
Pick request confirmed. Pick 3.
So here you can see there are some text overlays coming up. So they're actually wearing a wearable. They are augmented reality supported device. They can't hold mobile phones in their hand. So there's a camera attached to this device. It's a smart glass, augmented reality supported one. This is their own version of augmented reality use case in warehouse. So there are informations coming in a much more effective way. And it's not distracting also, but very efficient. So this is another application of augmented reality in practical world. And one last thing, if you know Google search also now giving augmented reality. So if your phone supports, if you have kind of a latest mobile phone, now if you search maybe animal like tiger or something, now search results give you a 3D version plus augmented reality version of the models. So this is one for tiger. This is how Google gives you the augmented reality visualization. So I just searched tiger. So they give this particular view and you can scan your environment and see this tiger. So I just did this today morning actually. So these kind of models are there. Not all the like animals supported, but there are some tiger, maybe I think dolphin, like there are a set of animals supported in augmented reality like this. So I think there's a huge potential in augmented reality. That's why these big companies are adapting these technologies, augmented, because that's much more effective. Because for in this example, so Google they have image search, right? So they can give images also. But why they introduced augmented reality also to Google search? Because probably much more engaging, much more interactive. And I think they also believe augmented reality has much more potential, and I think their research and development teams also working heavily. And also Apple, people predict there will be Apple Glass, AR glass will be coming up soon also. So there's a huge trend towards augmented reality. So yeah, so these are some of the applications, but of course there are a huge number of applications. So I just wanted to motivate you. So if you're interested, go to YouTube and check. You will find a huge number of applications out there also. Right. So I have 2 more slides, but before that, I hope it's a good time for Q&A session. I think we don't have much time, but still maybe Vidura.
Yeah. So actually it was a long but very interesting session. I know that all participants will agree with me because he started at a different point and he started with a unique style, then come into the practical session and give the understanding of how we can use this AR in the practical scenario. Then of course he has introduced some practical use cases that we are using in the education level, and if we are using, I mean, since you are all, I mean, most of here undergraduates, you know that you will have to do the practicals. So in my opinion, so using AR it's kind of a good thing in the online edition. If we are going to do the practicals likewise, like in the university level, also maybe that's kind of another use case will come in the future too. So with the AR, so in this online mode, so maybe there will be more products likewise. So we will go into QA without yeah. So I can see there are some questions that asked from participants, and also I have posted the two links before, so even now you can post your feedbacks and questions in the respective link. So let me share and let's see our questions. I think my screen is visible for you now.
Yeah.
So yeah, the question number one. So can you explain the difference of VR and MR?
Yeah. So actually, I was planning to do this at the end also. So basically, I introduced you three technologies: virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality as kind of solutions to escape from this device screen size limitation. So virtual reality, it's not like a physical thing. It's entirely a virtual. So you are teleporting yourself or your users into an artificially created 3D world, and you're just a player inside an artificial world. That's simply VR. But AR, you are blending virtual objects with real world objects. So it's a mix of virtual and physical world. So in MR, it's actually a combination of virtual reality and augmented reality. That means you probably will be experiencing MR, simply mixed reality, using a headset. You need a headset like maybe a Google Cardboard, Oculus Rift, maybe HTC Vive, or any kind of virtual reality supported headset. And also, important thing is to be mixed reality, you should have augmented reality component also. That means there should be a camera or some kind of an environment scanning mechanism. Maybe some people use LiDAR. Even now, mobile devices are coming up LiDAR sensors also. LiDAR is heavily used to scan surroundings. Or some kind of surrounding, you need to scan surroundings. So there are VR component, that means artificial world, 3D world created, and also you are blending real world together. Cool thing is you are using VR headset to experience this mixed reality. But in pure AR, you don't need, sometimes you don't need these headsets. You can just use the mobile phone, the Android phone. But in MR, probably people are going with wearables. So that's the basic difference that I can explain.
I think that answer is yeah, in participant can satisfy that answer. So okay. Yeah, I think that some questions I think here because in the middle of the session that they have asked. So likewise,
Yeah. So here also, of course, you can add movements to create the AR objects. You can add navigate animations. You can control your animations based on your virtual buttons. You can do a lot, almost all the kind of animations, effects, everything you can do.
the hidden opportunities and fields in this field.
Yeah, there are a lot. So there are a lot of research opportunities available also for augmented reality. One is improving these performance factors, and also like how to build collaborative or multiplayer experiences. These are some hidden opportunities, not actually hidden. There are some applications, but still people are working on this area. So how to build a collaborative AR experience. So if you can build up, for an example, the experiment that you saw. So for my particular book, there was a car. So how you can allow someone else, maybe from another location, to interact with the same AR model remotely. So there are stuff like that, how to make it happen likewise, and also how to make AR available for everyone, like how to make it possible to execute on different devices. maybe low-end devices. There are stuff like that. And also there are implementations like so at this experiment you also like I just imported 3D objects to AR experiments, but there's another technique, maybe photogeometric or scanning surroundings based on LiDAR and different hardware sensors, and how you can convert physical object into a 3D object. Like you are not modeling it, you are taking photos or scanning the object and converting it to a 3D object, and then you are using it in the AR application. So it's a more challenging one, but now actually recently Apple introduced very recently with this AR kit, their AR SDK, some features for this particular thing. So you can scan your surrounding and convert it to a AR space. So there are a lot of opportunities, really interesting opportunities out there. So I encourage you to read more research papers, check YouTube. And also there's a very nice TED Talk also. So I'll send that link via chat. It's a YouTube TED Talk. So I'll send it. Please watch it also.
Yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, what are the past and ongoing research areas regarding mixed reality?
Yeah, actually, my last answer touched that area also. So those are hidden and challenging areas. So there are research going on, and there are a lot more. So I encourage you to read some research papers also if you're into research areas.
Yeah, this question has also asked, I think, yeah, answered, I think, in the presentation. Can you add more to that? Can we use MR for the education industry in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, of course. Just give me a minute. Right. Education industry, actually, we did one experiment for primary school students. So probably what we did was like we introduced AR application to understand Sinhala alphabet. So we converted the Sinhala letters into image targets. Now you know what is image target, this concept. So we took photos of Sinhala alphabet letters, and then we modeled objects relevant to different characters. So for an example, R for Amma. So we took a cartoon 3D model of Amma and we put it as a 3D model linked to R letter. So when students are scanning this alphabet, they see the relevant object pronouncing that word likewise. So it's for primary school education. There are a lot. So this chemistry experiment, even you can do this for bio, lot of stuff. So you just need to be creative. There are a lot of possibilities, especially with this particular time period with remote learning. AR plus MR, both will be a real good value additions to education.
Yeah, of course. How to use AR in business?
Yeah, in business also, like business as in there are a lot of business domains. So probably one is in most of these like sales showroom context. So you can augment or you can send augmented reality model to a user and they can try out this product or something before they buy it. So the best example is IKEA, if you're familiar. It's a US brand, I think. So IKEA, this furniture manufacturer, so they are the topmost very popular user in AR in business. So they use 3D models of their desk chairs, these objects in AR. So users can check it before buying it. So there are some projects going on for fit on with AR. So before you buy a dress, you can check it, how it's going to look like on you. But still, there are some limitations in AR fit on. It's very hard to do it using simply your mobile phone. But there are a lot of applications likewise. Yeah.
So let's see. How does the camera input process through the software and make live track point on the camera input data? The measuring app which uses this AR tech and structure of that.
So yeah, so the challenging part is actually our AR application. It should always, mostly near real time, it should analyze this feed, and always they are matching different video frames with the image targets that we have loaded. So it's like a feature detection. So we have pre-loaded our image targets. So they are always comparing the real-time video feed and checking whether there's any image target matching with this camera input feed. So if so, they are quickly visualizing this 3D model as AR model. So that's the very simple flow, but most of this algorithmic work is handled by Vuforia at this moment. But if you are interested, please read. There are algorithms for this image feature tracking detection algorithms are there. So there are different techniques used for that. And yeah, and the second part, actually I don't really understand it, but anyway, I think in iOS there's a measuring app, uh, so that measuring app also somewhat similar to AR experiment. So you can measure your surroundings uh, using this measure. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, hardware requirements limitation to do AR VR.
Yeah, mostly it's processing power. You should have considerable processing power and also memory. So I told you, but there are solutions also. So memory problem, you can use a cloud database. So in that case, you can reduce application size. Hardware size, actually, you have to optimize your application as much as possible. Probably you have to have very less amount of animations, interactions. At least you have to optimize it. And when you are importing models, you have to be careful about the model quality. You can't have like gigabytes big models, 3D models running in a mobile application. So you can reduce, we call polygon count in 3D models. You can reduce this polygon count and balance the quality and size. So there are like stuff that you can do, but there are limitations, and also your battery will drain kind of fast manner when you are experimenting this augmented reality. Yeah, but according to, I think, Moore's law. So he also says like this devices technology is getting improved very rapidly, right? So nowadays, like most of the modern devices are actually specifically implemented to run AR applications, especially with the latest iPhones. Now, LiDAR sensor is there. So Apple believes LiDAR and AR will do big impact, will create big impact. So they are heavily investing on that field. So they are trying to eliminate a lot of limitations, hardware limitations in their devices also.
Do we really necessary that special need to experience?
I didn't get this question, but I can add one thing. So here you learned about one particular type of AR. It's image target based, or simply we call marker based AR. But there's another type of AR. We call it markerless AR. Markerless AR, you don't need to have a physical object. You don't need to take a photo and link it with the 3D model. There's the markerless AR also. For that, you can dynamically, you can scan surrounding and then you can select where you want to augment or project your augmented model, and you can visualize it. So there's a markerless AR also. And also you can use geotag, or you can give geo coordinates, latitude, longitude, and then you can stick some 3D models accordingly to that geo coordinates also. So that's markerless, different methods of doing it. The most straightforward thing is marker based. So for different problems, you can provide solutions with marker based AR or markerless AR. There are different types.
So I think the questions are over now. So really, I think if you have any more questions, so please reach out to us, or I think you can reach out to Mr. Yasas. So if it is so, can you please share the LinkedIn account if it's possible? If you, sir,
My LinkedIn profile.
Mr. Sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better sound because some
Yeah.
participants have requested.
Okay.
So,
I'll share it via the chat. And Vidura, let me conclude the session. So if you are interested more, so please search. I actually posted this TED Talk YouTube video also. She's delivering really nice discussion regarding virtual reality, augmented reality, this immersive technology if you are new. And also read a bit more about Unity Reflect. It's another cool thing, very latest thing. And also try to experiment with AR Kit, AR Core, and try to do this Unity experiment that we did together. And last but not least, if you know this person, Richard Buckminster Fuller. So he is actually an American scientist, and also he worked as architect and a very reputed person. So he said, like, if you want to teach people a new way of thinking, don't bother trying to teach them. Instead, give them a tool and use. People will use it to build and do newer ways of thinking. So guys, so today actually I try to explain about a new tool or a technology, but it doesn't give you any solution to a problem. That's up to you to think creative and apply this tool and use your imagination, your creativity, your problem solving skills and apply. But one thing that I have noticed, some developers, some students do AR projects, VR projects because of the need that they have to do AR project or VR project. But that's not the case. So you don't need to do AR project for a useless problem. There are some problems that you can solve very effectively without AR or VR. So there are problems, only some set of problems which needs AR or VR solutions. So you need to solve a problem. You don't need to produce a gimmick or a gadget with AR or VR and say, I solve this problem, because in that case, that problem solving will make much more other set of problems. It will make the problem worst. So always try to add your creativity, new ways of thinking. So it's a new perspective now you have to look at things. So now you have 360 space to look at different stuff. So it's a newer way of thinking, newer perspective. It's a tool. So it's up to you to think further and learn more. And I'm really excited to see what you're going to build next as your next AR project. So you can contact me if you search me in most of the social media, you will find me. And also I'll share my LinkedIn URL via the chat, so you can reach me there also. And before ending, I want to thank Vidura and all the TriNet Innovation team. They supported me a lot. They had a lot of discussions with me. They had a lot of planning, and they put a huge effort organizing this. So thank you everyone for arranging me, inviting me and arranging this event. And thank you everyone connected via Zoom and other social media live streams. I'm really happy. Looking forward to keep in touch. Have a nice day and stay safe.
and also one other thing to mention. So thank you, our guest speaker, Mr. Asasri from Singapore, attended this session. So it was a very fruitful session to all of us, no doubt of that. And of course, we will share the recording of the session via YouTube and also the Facebook live stream. No worries about that. And last but not at least, as the co-founder, I would like to thank all of you guys for attending this. And yeah, for stating the ending, I will invite you all to get a group photo. So yeah, let's get a group photo and yeah, I will appreciation. Can you just switch on the video cameras and yeah, prepare for group photo. Come on, it won't be long. Yeah. Don't shy. So, and also I want to mention that in our end there may be some technical issues. I will apologizing for that actually, but yeah, at the end of the day, we will be able to give a full session. So yeah, since time is running up, I think it's better that we can switch on the camera, then we can get the photo and conclude the session. So, switching on the cameras, yeah. We can wait for 1 minute. I think we can. Dito. Okay, I think yeah, I think we can get the photo. Okay. Let me get the photo. Okay. Okay. I will count to 3, then smile. Okay. Wait, I think yeah, some participants say that she has a problem with the camera. Okay. Okay. It's better that we can. Yeah. Now most of the people are switching the camera. That's okay. It's great. Okay, I think yeah. Okay, we can proceed with photo since time is running out. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Cheers. Okay, I have taken the photo. So guys, actually, thank you for joining the session. So it was a very good session, and because without you, this session wasn't successful. So thanks to everyone, our guest speaker, and everyone, and the organizing team. So they have done a great work behind the scenario. So thanks to everyone, and stay tuned for more updates. We will gonna help on many events. So yeah, thank you and stay safe. Bye.